I'm excited to share with you today something that really helped me finally move the needle to get out of the beige and stop being tentative with my decor. Because in all honesty, you have to start doing things differently to make an impact. I know you're ready to stop playing it safe when it comes to decorating, and you're excited to bring on all the personality, style and fun. So let's dive in. Welcome to the Daring Home Decor podcast. Are you tired of playing it safe with your interior design? Are you overwhelmed with choice and just want simple steps to pull off cohesive and unique decor? I'm your host, Cara Baker, virtual interior designer and bold decor coach. I'll help you get brave, find your style and create a home with pizzazz. So grab your paintbrush, put on those overalls and let's get decorating. Welcome to the show. Thank you so much for joining me. And if it's your first time listening to the podcast, my name's Cara Baker and I help female homeowners confidently decorate with bold interior design. And I have always been creative. I've always loved all things creative. I used to decorate cakes. I was really good actually, even though I do say so myself. And a great cake starts with the base, the sponge and the filling. But if you stop there, it's just a plain cake. And that might be what your rooms are like. They've got the basics, but nothing that gives them personality, energy or joy. Or maybe a little bit of personality, energy or joy, but not as much as what you really would like. So this episode is your 3-step daring decor formula to change that. And I'm going to stick with the cake analogy as we go through the 3 steps. So let's start with step 1, which is the frosting. This is the layer on your foundation, and your foundation in your room are your walls, your floors and your ceiling. So the frosting is what we're going to actually layer this foundation with. This is what sets the tone and changes the whole feel of the space. I'm going to give you some examples now. You obviously don't need to do them all. You can just choose one. You can paint the walls in an uplifting colour. I've done this in my living area and many other rooms in my home. I've painted it a lovely pop of pink. This is one of the most easy and transformative ways that you can change the look of a room. I know paint isn't as cheap as what it used to be back in the day, but it is a relatively cheap way to transform a space. It can take it from beige to bold and from shabby to chic. You could add wall panelling. This is a very popular trend at the moment, and it's obviously one that's happened throughout history too. You can even get faux wall panelling. In my bedroom, I've got a wallpaper which literally looks like slatted wooden panels on the wall. And you can do lots of different types of panelling, and you can get lots of different types of fake wallpaper too to create the effect. Now, we don't want to leave the ceiling out, do we? The 5th wall. I need to talk more about the 5th wall on the podcast, I think. I might do another episode on it. So here's an idea for you: wallpaper the ceiling. Even if you had neutral walls, you can elevate a space instantly by wallpapering the ceiling. Again, in my living room, I've wallpapered the ceiling. It's actually the same colour, well, a similar colour as the walls, but it's a wallpaper that's got like a geometric pattern on it too. And you could do, I think this is a really cool thing to do in a small space as well. For example, in your downstairs toilet or bathroom, adding a colourful, fun wallpaper to the ceiling is a great way to add personality to the space. If you don't want to go the full-on wallpaper on the ceiling, you could paint a design around your ceiling rose, or even just add a ceiling rose. And a couple of floor ideas for you, because obviously I mentioned this is covering the walls, ceiling and floor. You could introduce an oversized patterned rug or refresh flooring with vinyl floor stickers. And I have actually got a whole podcast episode on how to update your floor with vinyl stickers, which I did in my laundry room. After we renovated our home, we made a decision when we were in decision fatigue for plain grey floor tiles, which were really boring. And when I redecorated the room, they just weren't fitting in, and we didn't want the upheaval and cost of replacing the tiles. So I ordered some terrazzo style vinyl sticker tiles from Shein, and covering the tiles had a big impact on the space. So the frosting may be something that you're avoiding because it just feels too big and permanent. It's just easy to make do with that plain sponge cake, but it's also the bit that stops, if not added, a room looking flat, safe or half finished, and we don't want that, do we? And if you're struggling a little bit with even thinking about adding the frosting to your space, maybe you're scared of getting the decor wrong, or you're procrastinating in adding that first bold touch. And of course, we all have these limiting beliefs of if you can actually pull off a daring makeover. So I just want to let you know that a digital decor kit helps with all of that. It's a steal, your personal interior designer for a fraction of the price. Would you like to work with me? Yes or no? Check out daringhomedecor.co.uk/digital decor kit if your soul feels called to choose this solution. Let's move on to the exciting part, step 2, the cake decorations. I always loved this part because it really brought the cake to life, and I love this part in my home decor too because it really brings the room to life. They give the room shape, interest and presence. I'll just give you some examples. Side tables would be a great one, and I don't just mean any old side table. They've got to have something about them, some kind of personality, whether it's because they're gold. I've got some gold side tables in my living room. Sorry about that. The dog's just, I'm puppy watching today and she's just sneezed. I don't know if you heard that. Yeah, I've got some gold side tables. They're glass on top and they've got a lovely gold leaf design surrounding them, wrapping around the side of the table. And when I say gold leaf, I don't mean the gold leaf that you stick on top of something. I mean the actual design of the table is a leaf and it's gold. Another idea could be textured curtains. When you're looking for anything, when we're going daring, when we're looking for anything, we're not just looking for the bog standard of anything. We're looking for some kind of colour or pattern or texture or embellishments or fringing. You could introduce shelves, and these can add a bit of structure to the space. You could even put some wallpaper behind the shelves or paint the shelves, give them a little bit of life and personality. And you could add any kind of standout furniture. Think pink velvet sofa or monochrome coffee table. These kind of pieces help a room stop looking generic. And this is where your home starts to look intentional instead of accidental. So step 3 is the sprinkles and cherry on top of the cake. We're finishing with the personality layer. We've had personality all along, but this is the piece de resistance. So think things like mood lighting. This makes such a difference in a room. Some glam scented candles. Whenever I buy a candle, I always look at the design of the candle. So it's not just the mood it's creating or the scent it's creating. It's actually what it looks like as an accessory too. And I've mentioned this before, I've also recently bought some realistic looking tea lights from Amazon, and they come on with a timer every evening, and it just makes the whole house cozy. I love them. I sprinkle them everywhere. You could also have a patterned throw or a unique ornamental sculpture. I've got plenty of these around my home. I've got all sorts of gold hand sculptures doing all sorts of gestures. You could have cheeky artwork, coloured cushions, beautiful books, and of course something that I think every room needs is plants and flowers, real if possible, and always look for the unusual in everything, not just what everybody else has got. And these details are what makes a room feel alive, personal and fun. This is a layer that makes you smile when you walk in. This is where your home starts giving something back to you. So what you want to do is to build in layers. You don't need to do everything at once. And bold decor isn't about just going crazy and being reckless. It's about making intentional choices that wake your home up and reflect your personality, which is the most important thing. My 3-step formula makes decorating feel simpler. It helps you know where to start, and it stops you wasting money on random bits that don't work together. It will also help your room feel more cohesive and give you the confidence to make braver choices, because we want to create a home that feels uplifting, energizing and personal. Okay, let's think cakes again. A plain sponge is fine, but it's not the full experience. Your home can have the same foundations and still feel completely different once you add the layers that bring it to life. It's the difference between getting a sponge cake as pub grub or going to a Michelin star restaurant and seeing what they actually do with it there. Choose one thing from each step and start there. So I'll just give you a quick recap. Now, your room might already have the basics, but the basics on their own don't create a home with personality. Step 1 is the frosting. We're covering the walls, floor and ceiling to stop them looking flat and forgettable. Step 2, the cake decorations. The bigger pieces that add shape, structure and interest, can't speak, as usual, like side tables, curtains, shelvings, or maybe a standout chair. And step 3 is the glitter, the sprinkles and the cherry on top. The styling touches that make your home feel personal, playful and alive, like lighting, artwork, cushions, candles, books, plants and ornaments. You don't need to do everything at once. A daring home is built in layers, and one bold choice can change far more than what you think. When you understand these 3 steps, decorating feels less overwhelming because you can see what your room needs next instead of guessing and hoping for the best. And if you still feel you need a helping hand with this, then you can always check out a digital decor kit. There's links to everything you need in the show notes. And if you've loved this episode and want more bold decorating ideas, as well as first dibs on any offers I have, then you can join my insider list. And you will also get some free printables for your home, which can be your sprinkles. And that is a wrap. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you next Tuesday, where I can't wait to get creative with you in the next episode of the Daring Home Decor podcast. Put down your tester pot for 1 more minute. Come share your wins from this episode by leaving a quick review on Apple Podcasts. And don't forget, you'll find your next bold steps in the show notes. Meanwhile, you can get more interior inspo by joining my free community at facebook.com/groups/daring home decor. And until next week, stay daring.